As I dig deeper into my own purpose, I am now offering coaching for moms to help them navigate the stress of parenting a high needs child and find their purpose, as well as provide the support and connection they are craving. But the bottom line is, this is still about us moms reducing stress, taking care of ourselves, and redefining who we are after motherhood. If you are interested in coaching, connect with me over on Facebook at Sarah Elizabeth Severa or send me a DM on Instagram at Sarah Severa and let's chat. If you are new here and like what you hear, welcome. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and leave me a review. Reviews and sharing on social media plus word of mouth are the best way to help your favorite podcasters get seen, and I really appreciate it. Do you feel like you lost your identity and purpose after you became a mom? In today's episode, I'm talking about how I refound myself after having kids and what questions you can ask yourself if you feel like this too. Hey, stressed out mama, are you overthinking everything? Are you letting everything freak you out, overwhelm you, and cripple you in fear, anxiety, and stress, especially when it comes to your kids? Don't worry, so are 99% of other moms. I'm Sarah, and I am a mom just like you. I am here to give you the tips and tricks to simplify, de-stress, and unwind, because motherhood doesn't have to be so hard, and you aren't alone. Grab a cup of coffee or pour a glass of wine and join me every week as we talk all things mom. I will share personal stories, what works for me, and yes, we will even chat with other real-life mamas just like you. It's time to unwind. I wanted to pop in today and see if any of you feel me on losing yourself in motherhood. All of my life, all I wanted to do was be a mom. When I was a little girl, I played with baby dolls, I played house. It was like my lifelong goal and dream to be a stay-at-home mom. And I got to do that. I was blessed that we were set up and in a position that I can stay home with my kids and raise them. And it's a good thing because with Austin being born early and all his medical stuff that we've had to go through, I don't think I could have held down a typical job anyway, because I was constantly doing therapy and appointments and this and that and the other. And I don't think I could have had a real person job. But with that, I also felt like after I had him and I was in that first year, I had lost my purpose. And I was like, something was still missing. I didn't feel complete, if that makes sense. I mean, it sounds kind of weird because obviously like I had everything I wanted. I got to stay home. I was with my son. My daughter was born 20 months later. So it was crazy and we were living in a crazy time, but I still just felt like something was missing. And I never really felt at ease until I refound my purpose and my identity after motherhood and outside of being just mom. Now, there's nothing wrong with being just mom. And if that fills you up and that was your sole purpose in life, that's awesome. You're living a great life. And that's like high five to you. I wish that could have been me, but I thought it would have been me until I was in it. And then I was just like, who is Sarah? Like, I'm more than just mom, Austin's mom, Lucy's mom, right? And I hated that I lost that part of me and I wanted to find it again. So as moms, we tend to just like settle and say, well, this is what it is. This is what motherhood is. I have to get through this stage of life and I'll figure it out later. But what happens is eventually our kids grow up and they move away and they become their own people, independent people, hopefully, right? So that's our ultimate goal, is that they grow up to be successful, independent humans and adults. And then you're left going, what just happened the last 20 years? I don't even know who I am anymore. And that was a fear of mine. I didn't want to lose that. I didn't want to lose who I was. I didn't want to lose the things that I like to do and my personality and all of that. And that's kind of what I felt like happened. So after a lot of like digging and trying things and doing this hobby and trying that hobby and doing network marketing and just bouncing around. I've done a couple like work from home part-time jobs with other companies, and I taught kinder music for a while. So like I've kind of bounced around and I've done a lot of little things trying to just refine that purpose. And part of my purpose is that I like to be around people and I like to socialize. So I incorporate that into my life with the kids. I incorporate it into going to like having mom's nights and hanging out with my friends outside of, of course this is all pre-quarantine, but having that social life and going on date nights with my husband and spending time with him. So all of that stuff comes into play as well. But I still just lacked purpose, and I wanted to be able to be home with my kids and watch them grow up and raise them and go do the school things when they're in school and all of that. But I also felt like I wanted to contribute somehow financially, or just feel like I was contributing more than just being mom and housewife to my family. Like that's my personality and that's who I am. And once I found that like everything else got so much easier, and I no longer was stressing constantly about the little things. I was actually, because I was being filled up and fulfilled and having a purpose and a sense of direction in my life, I was able to also, I was doing something for me, and then I was able to enjoy the moments that I got to play with my kids, or that we sit down and color, or even like the meltdowns and stuff, because I wasn't as stressed and like just felt like I was lost in motherhood. I'm more patient and I'm able to handle and deal with the situations of toddler land a lot easier. And that was a huge stress relief for me. So what I want you to think about, if this speaks to you and this sounds like you, think about, who were you before you became a mom? What did you like to do? I liked to go out and see my friends. I like to play putt-putt. I like to be outside. I like to hike. A lot of that stuff we still do. What is it that has been on your bucket list that you want to get done? I always knew I would be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to be. Even like right out of college, I remember writing a business plan to start a youth brass ensemble. And it never went anywhere. I kind of tried, but then I chickened out, and just a lot of stuff. And it wasn't meant to be at the time, but I always knew that I would be doing something where it was for me and it was my own boss and I was in charge and control, because that's just who I am. I just never knew what that looked like. And I didn't know until I started trying things. So what is it that's on your bucket list that you want to do? I always wanted to be one of those like healthy, fit people. And I never was. I didn't know how to do it. And I finally started to learn and figure it out after motherhood. It took motherhood for me to be like, oh, I get it. It took my kids having food allergies to have to redefine food and look at it in a different way. And now I enjoy, like, that's what I like to do. And I'm not saying any of you need that. That's just, it took some of these things for me to learn and really understand that that's what I wanted. And that brings me joy. And I love to come up with recipes that fit our needs. And I like to bake and cook and things like that. And that fills me up. But finding what it is that you really want, looking at, is it part of your bucket list that, yeah, you want to be that person that can do all the field trips and be present and be there all the time and have a career? You can do that. If you want to just be at home all the time, but you still feel like, maybe you want to be a part of the PTA or a volunteer organization, or maybe you have some crafting hobbies you like to do that you just don't do because you feel like you don't have time. You don't feel like you're just drowning all the time in life. And so you just don't do any of those things. That's what the point that I want to bring to all of you and to bring to moms, is that we can do all of these things. We can do whatever we want. We can be the at-home mom and still respect our own personalities and our own identities and be Sarah or Elizabeth or Britt or Pamela. Like, we can be who we were prior to being mom and be mom and have the best of both worlds. So now that I have my routine, now that I have a sense of purpose, now that I get to live both lives and I get to have my cake and eat it too, it's so much easier to deal and cope with the stresses that parenthood brings, that high needs children brings, that toddlers bring, whatever stage of life you are in, that COVID brings. It just brings so much. So start thinking about those things. Think about, who was I? What do I like to do? Who am I as a person outside of just mom? And then let's do that. I'll help you. I'll support you. Let's do it together. So I want you to share below in the comments. Let me know if I'm speaking to you. Let me know that I'm not alone. It's not just me feeling like this in motherhood. But I've come a long way, and I want all of you to feel that way too. So I hope some of those tips and those questions and things to start thinking about help. Hope you have the courage and the confidence and the excitement to be like, yeah, you're right. I can still be me and be an awesome mom too. So share with me in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you feel me. Let me know what your struggle is or what it is that you want to do. And let's start a dialogue, let's start a conversation so we could see what everybody likes to do. Cheers, friends. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon.